Waiting for Ginger. Now it's finally kicked. Are you kidding me? It took that long? All right. I think we're going. I think we're here, people. Sammy, you all ready, buddy? All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Shh. This is a serious show.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This is Learn to Paint Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Learn to Paint Tuesday with Ginger Cook, live from Houston, Texas. And Sammy. Sammy, hey, buddy, did you get the ballots all cut up? It looks like you did. I hope you didn't hurt yourself.
He's been really playing with the scissors.
Well, you know, we had to get somebody to help us.
I know.
Ginger, are you out there? There you are.
I'm here. Hi, you guys.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Hi, this is an exciting show. We're not only going to paint some ice cream, which I don't think maybe you've never realized that's a fun thing to paint, and we're going to see who won our giveaway. We had over, I think, what did you say? I think 100 and...
We got like 167 valid entries.
Valid entries. That's a lot of entries, you guys. And that was, and for those of you who are wondering, what entries, what show? Well, back when we were started with this is this painting called The Promise, all right? And that was our first painting. There, I had this idea. Let's put a secret word in the video. And if you can remember that, then every time we did a live class, not our reality TV shows, but just the live classes, we added some secret words. And come a couple of shows, we added a couple because we felt sometimes the connection wasn't very good, and then maybe we weren't going to get it. So then we thought, well, okay. So basically, there was a total. You had to have a total of 8 words, one from each show. Okay. And we just and we gave you a form at the very end, which was like a few days ago, to send in your words, and then we're going to draw the winner tonight. The names are all in here. See that? The names of the and stuff are all in there. Of all 169 people, we're going to draw that. I'm going to close my eyes and reach in. We're going to draw that in about 30 minutes. Give people a chance to find us and get on. Okay. So, but somebody, no matter where they live in the world, we said we'd ship this to them. This is this really, I think, fun original painting of the proposal, and I hope you guys had fun with the contest. It was just something fun for everybody to do. And so anyway, that's what we're going to do. In the meantime,
well, we're going to do that in approximately 30 minutes
about
or so.
30 minutes. We're going to do that about 30 minutes.
Because people keep straggling in.
Yeah, and then we want to just welcome everybody to our live Ginger Cook Live Tuesdays, where we do a full painting, and we want to shout out to our moderators, Kimson, somebody.
Just say Kim.
Hey, there's Kim. You never said I could do that. Here's Kim, and we got Wendy. We got Wendy and we got Kim. We got anybody else?
I don't think so.
Okay, we have a couple.
Not yet.
Not yet. But anyway, we want to thank those guys for, our moderators. And here's the deal. You can ask questions if you want to ask some questions.
If you must.
It's all right to ask questions. Here's the thing. You want to put them in capital letters so we know they're a question, and you're not just telling your friends about your new puppy or something, okay? Because what happens is when you get this many people online, sometimes we get as many as 350 people. I mean, that's happened. And it's like an art party. So there's a lot of chat going on besides asking questions, and we may miss your question. Remember, if you really have a serious question you want it answered, you can always email us at gingercooklive.com and go over to our Contact Us form on our gallery, gingercooklive.gallery, and email us. And we have a Contact Us form, and we see those. We look at those, several times a day, and then we may even answer your question on the air.
We may.
We may. And if there's, where's my bell? Here. If somebody gives us a really amazing question, not in your ear. If you hear this really ringing, that means you answered such an amazingly interesting question that you asked it. I answer it. You ask it. Let's get this straight. No, let's not be confused here. You ask, I answer. Okay.
Hopefully.
All right. Or maybe I don't answer. You'll get some sort of response from me. And anyway, it's a really great question, or what I think is a great question. I'm sure they're all great, but if I think they're a great question, then you might win a week of art lessons at gingercooklive.gallery, where we we have over 275 lessons on our website. We had 4 every month. Maybe we try to get them out there every week, but for sure we're getting 4 out there every month. And during the month's time, there'll be at least 4 lessons, sometimes 5, okay, that we add depending on the weeks of the month. But we try to get that out to you guys, and we get them out. We've been really good at this.
We're just a little bit behind now because some of the ones we're doing, Wave and Water, are more complex, and now we've also done the same thing to the video lesson library.
Yeah, a lot of our paintings are, you know, we start out with a lot of back to basics, back to beginner lessons. You never painted before. This is the place to be because we really get you in a step-by-step process, not just a random beginner lesson here, you know, because, you know, define beginner, but, you know, and then, but we have real advanced lessons too. So you can go 1 cookie, 2 cookie, and go all the way up to a box of cookies of lessons on our website with personal art coaching. Send stuff into me, and you guys become the heroes in your own town because you really, you know, you start making progress, and unbelievable progress. I have to say, like, shout out to Manette, who's, didn't you say she was going in for surgery again?
I don't know if that's public, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I mean, right.
And we need a 5-second delay on our show now.
Yeah, no second delay. But I'm just saying that even though, you know, but she made a statement. If you go to our Pinterest board, you'll see that under Student Board 2017.
It's phenomenal what she did within a year.
Well, I mean, she started in 1 year, and now she's painting at a real advanced level. Never painted before. I mean, this is the kind of results you can get when you have a personal art coach, and it's well worth it. So that's my speech, and I think anytime you can do that for under $30 a month, and I mean, really, if you're a senior over 60, it's $21.95. It's a deal. If you just want to try us for a week, you can do a full week with lessons. Access any of those for
$9.95.
$9.95. So
under $10.
Under $10, can't beat it.
Give up that Starbucks.
So this is our fabulous. I think it's fabulous. This is our fabulous ice cream painting we're going to go to do today. And I'll show you how to do it. So let's get down to that in a few minutes. We're going to draw for our winner. But John, if you want to just focus down on the table for me.
Focus down.
And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, boy, this is the place to be. Look at that. Isn't that just fabulous? Now, tonight I'm going to show you my reference photo. I can't always show them to you, even though I have permission to use them. But tonight I'm going to show you the reference photo.
That one we got off of Pixabay.
That we got off of Pixabay, so I can show you. Okay, it's on Pixabay. How do you spell that? People don't know that, John.
Pixabay, I believe.
Pixabay. And Pixabay. The reason that's kind of nice, it's a free photo stock, and if the photo doesn't have a yellow band around it, then it's a free for all. Okay. So anyway, this is where I got the photo. This is my painting. Isn't that cool? And I tried to simplify it a little bit for you. And, you know, so that you'd be, you know, not get too crazy with all the cut glass and stuff that's on here, but still make it pretty. And I think I did a good job. Now, we've got an 8x10 canvas. And
it's already dark.
It's already darkened. And what I darkened it with, and I'll put those colors out as we talk, what I darkened it with, there's a color called Payne's Gray. Now, this is sort of a color you don't see me use very often. In fact, I've had this jar of paint for, you know, 17 years or something. How often do we use that? Like next to nothing, never. So I put a little, Payne's Gray is basically black and ultramarine blue, all right? But you can see from the photo it was a very dark picture, and I didn't want to change that much. And then what you do is you add a little bit more ultramarine blue and Dosney purple to it, all right? So you add a little bit more. Here's the ultramarine blue here. And then we're going to get a little bit of Dosney purple and add to that. And it makes a really, really dark color because I wanted it to be dark enough where our chocolate ice cream still had some contrast. So there's our Dosney purple. We're going to grab most of that right there. Come back over here. And I'm going to mix it in there like that. I just need a pile of this for if you were doing your background. I've already got a background on here. But here's I need to be able to match the background. So I'm just going to kind of pile that up there like that. All right, so there's that, and let's see. So we've got that, and then we've got the other colors are Naphtha Crimson, Quadrichrome Magenta. We don't have any yellow. That's interesting. We have a fluid white, a titanium white, a burnt umber, burnt sienna, phthalo blue, and red, or Naphtha Crimson. Okay. Where'd the wastebasket go? Ah, perfect.
It's
Look at that.
Did you find it?
All right. So in order to make this work pretty well and facilitate our painting of this in some sort of timely manner, I went ahead and did a photocopy of my original painting, which I drew out. Now I am going to show you how to draw this, however. All right, I'm going to show you a simple way to draw this. You can also go to Pixabay and even just trace that if you wanted to. All right, but like I say, I sort of simplified a little bit for you. And here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to move this this paint out of the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to get some of our Sorel transfer paper and transfer that on the canvas. And this works out pretty well. And I think we'll take
yellow.
In this case, well, you'd think yellow, but I think I want white.
Oh.
And the reason being is I don't want any yellow in my ice cream.
Good
So
point.
I think I just want white. I don't
like
mind
when you have
having
snow
white,
cream.
but I think I just want white. So there, and you can use this stuff over and over again. And this is called by Sorel. They make it, like I say, in a roll, like a wax paper roll. But you know, that's yards of that stuff. What do you can do with yards of that? I've been painting for years. I've never used up a whole roll because the thing of it is, you can just keep using the stuff over and over again. You know, it's not like one sheet per picture. As long as you're doing something different or turn it upside down or something, you can keep using it. So there's our. Let's see. Here's our picture, and I'm going to tape the picture down like this so that it doesn't move. Make sure I've got it on 8x10 canvas. And again, this is a really simple idea. Now, my original painting is up on Pinterest. It's Ginger Cook Live, all one word on Pinterest. So if you go up to my Pinterest board and you look under the, you know, I think it's a March through April or something, paintings, recent paintings. Actually, there's more on there than that. But, you know, that's the way to find it. And you'll see this picture right there at the top. And again, you can print out from Pinterest too. So let's just tape this on here like that. Okay. Okay, and this is nice and dry. The background's nice and dry. Now I'm going to put my wax papery side down.
Make sure you get the right
They
side,
said
'cause
there's
that's
no
hard.
wax paper on here, but you know, I'm going to put that down. And we're going to test it to see if it actually works. So let's do a quick scribble. Do we see it? Do you see that S? I mean, that's pretty nice. Now, if you didn't have this, you can take a copy of this and take some pastel chalk all over this a couple times, smear it with a little cotton ball or something, and make your own transfer paper. You can do that. It's a little bit more messy, but you can absolutely do that. And I show people how to do that. Lots of ways to get your canvas covered with a picture, you know. But I think this is probably the most expedient. How's that? I like that word, don't you? Expedient. And incidentally, there are no secret words today. We're not doing any. We're going to let that contest sort of rest a little bit, but we are going to draw for the secret word in about 15 minutes. If you just came in, all right. So I think I've got this down. Now the reason I'm using a pen, and if I use this image several times, I'll make sure I have it straight on here, and you know, line this up straight on my canvas. I think I do. Hope so. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to outline what I'm doing. Now it was interesting, the spoon really gave me problems when I first started to put it in, and I was amazed at how much trouble the spoon gave me, but because they had sort of a wonky spoon here and I didn't like it. But finally, you know, we actually went and Googled spoons, and so I could get a decent looking spoon in here because I didn't want anything too crazy. When Cinnamon and I were in France some years ago, my daughter Cinnamon, if you may know her as the art Sherpa, we were over in France, and one of the things I always admired, we went to this awesome little ice cream store. I mean, it was just so cool. And the lady had these darling spoons that were little owls on the edges of them. And I think we bought them. I don't remember what happened to them. I think this has been some years ago. So here's the top of our dish, and it's kind of wavy here. You don't have to get it all that perfect. If it changes a little bit, that's okay. And none of this is, you know, written in stone, but we're going to come along here like that, and I'm going to make this in here. And of course, this is a good time to answer questions, John, why I'm just mindlessly drawing this in.
Okay. Why is the Earth round?
Why is what round?
The Earth. Well, nobody's asking any questions, so I thought you wanted a question. Why don't you give me a roll of die?
Why is the Earth round?
Yeah,
this was
why
the
is the Earth
question.
round? That's the question.
Didn't they tell you about that in school? Did you miss that? You in Columbus kind of missed that whole memo?
Absolutely.
It just
Totally missed that one.
Wow, you were one of those kids in school, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Gosh, I remember this kid in school, and he was so he was like he was the one that would speak out in class, and the rest of us were all cowering. We wanted to say something, and none of us wanted attention. You know, this was a boarding school in Arizona, and the teacher would ask him a question, and he'd go, "I give up. What is it?" Stuff like that, right? All right,
my kind of guy.
I know you and him would have been best friends. Here, let me just roll the dice here.
Where are they? Where's the die? A 2.
A 2.
What's
We're
the two?
playing art trivia for you, those of you who doesn't know that. Used guys that doesn't know that, right?
You guys.
Used guys, right?
Used guys.
Used
This
guys.
is 600 questions. Beginner to expert art is the category. And number 2 is a what?
A what?
A what?
Now this, you guys can, write in your answers, and when you're all done with that, then John will see if I know it. Kind of stump the artist. You probably know it and I don't. Just because you can paint, it's an interesting thing. Just because you can paint doesn't mean you know a thing about framing, all right? That they don't necessarily go together, okay? And just because you can paint doesn't mean you studied art history, and just because you know art history doesn't mean you can paint. But sometimes there are people that know all those things because it's interesting.
Before I ask this question, we have Denisa.
Yeah?
Just asking, what does the gold crown on Ginger's logo mean?
Oh wow! Would you like to answer that, John? Because I don't mind telling you, but we are the gold standard, and we
Thank you,
absolutely
Marty.
know this. They're the gold standard of acrylic painting. I mean, you really want to know how to do acrylic painting from the very basics to the top notch. This is master acrylics that we are, and I can say this with total
Confidence.
confidence and congruity.
No, not congruity.
No, it's not the right word.
Confidence and...
Anyway, we believe it. How's that? We believe it. We know this to be true, darling. We absolutely know this true.
If you really want to learn to paint acrylic,
You're gonna ask me.
you go to Ginger to learn. If you want a party, you go to some other people.
Yeah, but if you really want to know, and one of the hardest things when I was teaching painting parties, and I was one of the first artists in Houston ever to teach at painting parties and design probably 80% of all the paintings that they did for our Merlot to Masterpiece, and they had 4 locations, and and I was the main designer for it, and the hardest thing for me to teach that was there were people that just came there to drink and party and weren't interested in really painting, and it was so important to me that everybody left with the painting. It just bugged me if they didn't leave with the painting. I mean, that was good, something they could feel good about hanging in their wall and not throwing the trash and to say, I give up, this was terrible, right? And plus me, people left, but, the boss kept saying, some people are here for the party, and I'm going, yeah, okay, and I guess by the time you've had about, you've had so much wine that you can't walk to the restroom without falling over, that you really can't expect much in the way of results for your painting, but still, it was important to me that people did well.
Yeah. Hey, we want to thank Marty for donating $5 to our worthy cause.
Oh, thanks, Marty. That's so sweet. We really appreciate that.
Anybody would like to contribute to that little cause of our madness with a little $sign if you're... I think all devices now are supporting it.
Yeah, the thing of it is you can't do this. You can only do it during the live shows. You can't come back later and do it,
If you'd like to donate after the show, you can go to our website.
Just nice. A buck here and there. It never hurts, right?
It always helps. Again, we're buying all the supplies. Everything's coming out of our pockets.
That's right. We're buying all the supplies. I mean, nobody's giving anything. If we tell you something, and we're getting a discount too. If we open the Brush Guys, we get 5% off, just like you do. I use my code. The Brush Guys a really good place to buy brushes, and because everything else being equal, we all get 5% off if you use my code, Ginger Cook, all one word, right? And that kind of stuff. All right. So now here's
No. Now we're going to ask the question.
Oh yeah, was there a question in here finally? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's a question.
Perfect.
It's a good question. How many self-portraits did Rembrandt leave behind?
Rembrandt.
I have choice. Yeah, you know him? You know Mr. Rembrandt?
Yeah, remember Rembrandt. I'm just trying to think of him. Rembrandt. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. About 10, about 50, about 100.
Wow, you guys, what do you think? Like I said, we don't have a singing channel.
Hold that thought for a minute. I thought I have on the upgrade on the iPad. I think it's supposed to start showing now. Somebody said that was working on theirs. You might have to be in Chrome and not Safari, Chrome browser.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. I mean, John and I we have all the devices. And really, we have every device there is because we have to, when we do our website.
0. Lady Fair, come on now. That wasn't even a choice.
Come on. Rembrandt did some self-portraits. How many did he do? That's the question. But I'm just going to mention...
I'm getting hundreds and I'm getting 50s.
50s?
Somebody's saying 14. They know exactly. They must have counted them.
Well, I don't know. I'm going for the lower answer here of 10. How's that?
I would think you're wrong.
Well, you always think I'm wrong when it comes to stuff like this. And, a clock is right twice a day. I'm sorry, right?
Unless it's a 24-hour clock.
Well, Oh, well, then it's right once a day, right?
That's correct.
There you go. See, I mean, he's so smart with the math. Isn't it? Don't you love guys that are smart with math? Don't you? That's just such an attractive feature about you, Mr. Little.
Oh,
you just
stop.
know
Get back to your
math
painting.
stuff. You just know this.
100 is the answer, about 100.
100. That's
100.
extraordinary. There's some real vanity going there, right?
Thank you, Miss Angie.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Thank
Who's
Miss
the fairest
Angie.
of them all? You know, my thing is that when you're getting older, right? This is true. I've said this for years. You know when you're getting older and you start looking at the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and the wicked stepmother starts having a point of view, right? You change sides in the story. You've kind of crossed that line, right?
Back a while ago, we had a question come up.
So we're doing this. I'm going to take some. Let me take a breath
go
here.
ahead.
Has it been 30 minutes yet? Because I want to do our drawing.
No, it hasn't been. Just
all right. Well, then
relax.
I'm taking some. I've got to do some white stuff here. So this is. I want to
tell
just
them why
say
you're
this real
doing
quick.
white.
I've got to look. We've got to have this ice cream stuff, and because we've got such a dark background, this pink won't show up, right?
Right.
So the white and the pink are going to be painted white, but not the chocolate, and probably the spoon. We can get away with not painting white, but these two things we have to paint white. So I'm using a flow paint, which is the liquid fluid, because it is a little it's not mixing white, but it's slightly more transparent than regular white than the stuff in the tube, right? It's a little bit more translucent, and it's not meant to be. It just looks to me like it is. And so anyway, that's why I'm doing this. So go ahead, carry on, John. I'm sorry, I had to do this.
Okay. Shay's asking, does acrylic paint expire? How long does the paint last after you open it?
Well, that's a good question. Does it expire? We talk about this. It depends. It's very fussy with heat and cold. It doesn't like that very much. So depending where you live, where it was shipped, you may live in sunny California and you bought it and it came from Milwaukee or something. I don't know where it comes from, but New York, let's just say, right? So it had crossed the country. And maybe somewhere in the Midwest somewhere, there was a freeze, and the little truck that was in, all the paint froze, okay? So by the time it shows up in your Happy Paint store in California, because it happened to cross the continent in a truck or train, however it got there, probably a truck, it's been frozen. And so when you open it, it's brand new and it's not very nice, which is why it's always a good idea to open these and not just hoard and put them on the shelf and hope for the best, okay? And the colors that seem to have the biggest problems are white and raw and burnt umber, are two colors, and yellow that don't do well with cold. Now, golden paints, on the other hand, say that their paint can freeze at least 5 times before they start having heart attacks on that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, how many stops did they make? Between where they are in New York and where you live, did they freeze 5 times? We don't know. But what I'm saying is that this Acrylic paint, which is Acrylic, it's one of the first companies that ever did acrylics. They're out of New York. This I've had this jar for 17 years, and it was open, and I sprayed it. And it was fine, right? If the seal's good, if air gets in it, it can dry out and just become hard as a rock. But I get it just depends on the paint. Okay.
Teresa would like to know, even though I use adequate paint, I still see canvas showing through. What am I doing wrong?
That's why you do an underpainting. That's the whole reason you do an underpainting.
But you're still going to see the canvas.
You're going to see some canvas showing through.
Unless you use, a really fine canvas, right? Like a linen?
Like a linen, but or you paint on a board. So, and that's okay, but that's what the underpainting's for. That's the color underneath the color underneath the color, okay?
Underneath the color.
So that's your underpainting. In this case, you're going to see a little bit of you're seeing the dark canvas show underneath here. See that and that will create some of the shadows in this white ice cream. I'll still make some, but it's going to, if I kind of just brush it out there, this is going to create those shadows in the ice cream. Isn't that interesting? Just because, can you see them? Because you can still see a little translucent. And because this is sort of a liquidy paint, all right? Now, I'm going to and I wanted something that was kind of going to come along here like this, and that would see how nice this is flowing here like that, okay? Oh, isn't this cool? And then this little bit here, there's a little bit of something over here, some sort of little white ice cream or whatever this was. It's light, okay? So now I've got this, and now I'm going to come down here. As long as I'm playing with my whites, right, I'm going to come along here like this. And now we're going to do something a little different, okay? I've still got white on the brush, all right? And still got white on the brush. And I'm not going to do it in here, and I'll show you the difference because I want it to look not as bright in the glass. So that's all right. Won't hurt a thing. We'll just paint that. Just don't panic.
Well, I'm
you
not
guys.
saying anything.
No, good.
No, I'm not saying
Good.
anything.
Don't say anything. You know, this
No,
is
I'm not
best.
saying anything.
All right. So now what I'm going to do is, remember I told you we made that background color, which is this is our sort of purpley black background color, right? So I'm going to take a little white with that, okay, like that. Just a tiny bit of the white. And it's got the, I've got that dark Payne's gray in it, and I think I got enough of that out of there, but let's just make sure that I got this mixed correctly. I'll just add a little more all by itself here like that. There. Okay, so.
Put the top back on, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, and then the other thing is somebody asked when you'd want distilled water. When you can spray water on the inside of these, and if you did distilled water, some people feel that keeps mold or anything from growing in. I've never had mold grow, but, I put regular water in an iron too, so, I'm probably not the one to ask. I just don't have time to be hauling around bottles of distilled water, but they say that, it doesn't hurt when you're storing paint or gels to spray them with distilled water.
We'd like to thank Lisa for the donation, and back to Miss Angie. I don't know if she heard us. Thank you once again.
Okay.
Those that help us a lot, guys. Really, really appreciate that.
Well, thanks very much, you guys. We really appreciate it. All right, now I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to make this light
We have another question.
purple color. Yeah, sure. Good color. Good question. Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, Deborah would like to know, you're supposed to blend the paint flat, or can it be where the brush strokes are seen and the texture of the paint shows up?
Sure, of course. What I would suggest to you, Deborah, and you'll never get this from books, is you've got to visit your local art museum and start putting your nose right in front of some canvases and look at the brushstrokes of these different artists.
Because the brush stroke tells the rest of the story.
And yeah, the direction of the brushstrokes makes a difference, and also you'll see it. They will never. Here's the deal: oil paints or paintings are really stressed by light, just daylight. Daylight by bright lights. Okay, so museums have to light the pictures so you can see them. Okay, and you'll see the galleries. They're pretty dark, and then they'll have a light on the picture, but flashes and stuff like that, they go off. There's only so many photographs they can take of these things, and they diminish. And they know this because, this is great, they know this because, let's see, when the wall came down in the Soviet Union, what was that, back in 1990? It was about when the wall came down, okay? The Berlin Wall, for you new people that never heard of it,
I don't think that's in this crowd. Sorry.
No, but there's some that are going, what wall? What wall came down? What are they talking about?
Right? The Great Wall of China? What's going on?
What called? Yeah, that's the only one they heard of. But anyway, so after World War II, the Russians were able to rescue a lot of original artwork that the Nazis had stolen. Okay, and some of it ended up, for whatever reason, in their vaults. In lots of old paintings, masters ended up in a dark room in a vault at the bottom of the Hermitage. Just kind of hidden away from the world. They didn't let anybody know they had them, but they had them. But they had rescued them. They weren't on fire, and they were all set to be burned. Okay, so then when the wall came down, they said, "Oh, by the way, we have a few of these paintings. Would you guys like to see them?" And some were. Then there was a little anyway, they returned some to some of the original owners, were able to claim them. But what they noticed was that all across the board of these oil paints, the colors, the ones that had been sitting in a black vault for 50 years, the colors were ever so much brighter than their companion paintings by the same artist, like Renoir, Van Gogh, Leonardo da Vinci, all of these guys, because they had a pile of them. Their paintings were brighter, the colors were better than the ones that had been just sitting under the best conditions in art museums. So I'm telling you this, the reason I'm telling you this great stuff, and you're going, why do I need to know this? And just follow along as I'm painting here, right? The reason you need to know this is because, I'm trying to think why I'm telling you this. It's a great story. Why do you need to know that? Oh yeah, so when you see a photograph of a painting in a book, particularly if it's an old master, you don't really know what those colors are. You just don't know that they're not going to use the best flash or whatever, and it's hard to say how old the photograph is, and that you're not allowed to just be happily snapping pictures in museums either. Watch how fast you get thrown out pulling that stuff. So anyway, the best advice is to actually go see some original paintings, really see the brushstrokes, really see what they look like. Understand that, because nothing takes the place. There's no picture online, there's no Google search, there's nothing that takes the place of getting a chance to see some of these original artworks. And that gets you down to, you know, if you become a member of an art museum, like for instance, they have sister museums. Isn't that crazy? Like sister cities. They have these sister museums, okay? So why is that interesting? Well, for me it was interesting because let me put a little of this color this way and make it a little bit darker here. The sister museums, if you belong to one, if you're like a kind of a whoop-de-doo member, I don't know if that's such a thing as a whoop-de-doo member, but if you're a whoop-de-doo member, you know, kind of a leveled up member, then if you go down to New Orleans, one thing, you don't wait in line when any fancy shows comes in, and when you travel around, you get in free in other museums too. So I say this, I'm not a member, I'm not a whoop-de-doo member of any of our museums, but I have friends that are, and they go to the shows all the time, and it's really neat for them because the rest of us peons are out there waiting in line for an hour or so to get into the big shows, and they've joined the group here. Just put out a little magenta and putting that with this too.
We'd like to thank Lady
darker.
Fair for the donation.
Oh, thank you. Okay. And I'm going to put a little of this color in here now. Okay. I'm just adding a little bit of this. I've darkened it up just a little bit and add a little magenta to it to just put a little of this in our on our bowl. See, we're putting a little shadow colors here, and I'm going to put a little bit up in here like this. This is sort of, it's got a tiny bit of magenta. It's this background color. And then we're going to add a little bit more of this kind of magenta. Oh, I know we weren't going to do that. We're doing something else. I lied. Never mind. XX. King's X on this. Sorry. All right, not doing that.
Oh, back to the King's X.
Back to the King's X, yeah? Back to the King's X.
No, sorry.
All right. So while that's drying, we can...
It has been 31 minutes and 18
seconds. Oh, good. Let's
seconds.
do our show. I'm so excited. Aren't you guys excited to see who won the original painting? So just let this dry for a second. Yeah? Put this away.
You're at a point? I thought you were at a point.
Yeah, we're fine. Let's just try something. All right. So
all right, now,
this is what the winner... Now, here's the deal. We're going to... Somebody won this painting that entered our contest over the last... what was it, about 3 weeks?
Yeah, last 3 weeks.
Last 3 weeks, and
Yep.
they came up with their 8 secret words. We had 169 people that actually entered and had the correct number of words. You know, had the all 8 words, and it didn't matter the order. We kind of cut you a little slack on some of this because we know it was kind of a. Next time we'll be a little more stricter, but we thought it was just fun. We love the fact you participated, no matter where you live in the world. We are going to mail this to you. All right, as long as we have your address. And we'll let you know. We're going to announce it tonight, and we will send you a personal email letting you know that's you. So you have one. This is called The Promise. This was done. This is a step-by-step, fabulously fun painting that we had a few weeks ago on YouTube. Okay? So if you didn't win it, you can always just go back and paint it for yourself. All right? So you guys ready for the drawing?
I am. Drum roll.
Now look, do you see my eyes closed?
I do see your eyes closed.
Are my eyes closed? And I'm mixing these all up.
Mixing
all up.
Sammy cut them all up himself personally.
And they're all up in little strips. And
there we go. And she's pulling one out. Just one.
I'm pulling one out.
Here we go. Just one. Shaking it off, shaking it off, shaking it. Okay, she has one.
I have one. And it says it's like a fortune cookie, isn't it? You will have great health and happiness. No, that's not the name, right? Let me get my glasses on. Well, okay.
And the winner is...
Lori Riley.
Lori Riley.
Lori Riley, you are the winner of The Promise.
Dun, 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 dun.
Lori. Lori, congratulations. You are the winner.
You have 5 minutes to call it and claim your prize. Oh, just kidding.
We're kidding.
Just kidding.
You've won it.
Hey, aren't we going to do something else?
All right. Yes, I forgot.
I think you guys were so great in participating.
We're going to draw 5 more names, and every one of the 5 names will either won a free downloadable video or 1 week of free live lessons on gingercooklive.gallery, okay?
Whoa, really?
In fact, this name's going to have won 2 weeks.
The 2 weeks? The first one's going to get... Wait. We're going to do 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
You want to go crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, really crazy? We could do 1 month. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week.
Okay, you ready for this?
First person out is going to get 1 month.
1 month.
Or
1 month, or a downloadable, or 2 downloadable videos, right?
Don't put it out there where the email's out there.
Sorry. This is Pauline Kirkham, Kirkham.
No, we're going to have to keep track of these.
All right, so I'm going to put that there. Pauline's won 1 month. Okay.
Who's got a pen?
And Yeah, Pauline, now we're going to draw another one. Okay, not looking. See, eyes closed, not looking. Pauline, you know, John's going to write this down. Pauline,
This is 1 month.
she's done 1 month, right? I'm going to do another one. Now, this is for 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks. 3 weeks worth of art lessons, right? Or 1 downloadable video. Well, you want to make it 2? Yeah, 1. Okay, 1 downloadable video. We'll make it a 2. Okay, 2 weeks or 2. And this is Shirley Tapp, T-A-P-P. Shirley Tapp, you have won 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Sorry, trying to keep this straight. 3 weeks. Three
3
weeks, and 2 downloadable videos on gingercooklive.gallery. Okay, 2 weeks of free art lessons, and on our website. Okay, and now I'm going to do another one. We're just turning the can around here. So we're down to 2 weeks, right? Okay, you guys, this is fun. Oh, this is fun, right? We got somebody else. So
I'm having fun.
all right, so here we go. I love it. John cut up all these names. He's just going to give you something because him and Sammy spent a long time cutting up all these names. All right, here's the next one. This is your fortune is. I see great paintings in front of you, and this is Christine Miceli, M-I-C-E-L-I. You have won 2 weeks of free video lessons from gingercooklive.gallery, or 1 downloadable lesson. You can pick that from our store if you don't want to have the 2 weeks of lessons. And remember, these lessons all come with personal art coaching. So congratulations, you guys. We have 1 more drawing, right? We have the 2. That was the 2.
1, 3, 2. And we have 1.
We have 1 more. Okay. So we have 1 more. I'm picking out another name here. Ready, you guys? So okay. So oh my gosh, this is Sue Clark. Sue Clark. She's one of our members. Well, Sue, you can.
Another week.
You've got another week of art lessons, and you can either keep that for yourself, or you can come get a free downloadable art lesson,
Or pass it to somebody else if you want.
or pass that to someone else. So Sue Clark, you're a winner too. So obviously this was fun. You guys, wasn't this fun? Yay! Woo.
Obviously it was fun.
It was fun.
We enjoyed it.
I hope you had fun with this. Right? We want to thank everybody for participating. And we really do thank you very much for participating. We thought this was lots of fun. Really. I just enjoyed this so much. All right, so we're going to be going back to the paintings now. Any great comments from our group now over this? Everybody kind of excited?
Oh, I don't know. I've been away from my computer.
Well, I know, but I'm just asking you to read some comments.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, everybody's happy. Happy people. We like happy
so
people.
while this is drawing, we're going to do some we're going to put out some burnt umber and burnt sienna. We're going to do the chocolate paint. All right. So here's the chocolate ice cream. So we've got burnt umber, and then we've got burnt sienna, which is somewhere here. Yeah, it's getting about down to the end of that. Okay, that's your kind of reddish brown color. And we're going to start with a little bit of white. So we're going to got some white here, a little bit of burnt umber. Here's this sort of light brown color. Okay, like that. You can kind of see me mix that. Okay. Now what we want to do, and I want you to just sort of see this, is that we want to have some little squiggly lines doing like this with some of the light stuff. And then there's like a little squiggly line here. Okay. So first off, let me just rinse my brush because I want to start with the dark brown. So start with some burnt umber and burnt sienna, mix them together. And we're going to, kind of cover over this dark color of our chocolate ice cream like that. Okay. Just kind of paint in this brown stuff. And that's a combination of burnt umber, burnt sienna. And let's come under here like this in our, on this side of the pot here, and our little ice cream dish. Put that color in too. We need to start with some dark brown. Now we'll take some of this light stuff, and we're just going to tap it using a corner brush, 1/2 inch little angle brush. These are so happy to use. A little bit of light paint here. I'm going to start tapping in some light, and almost like we're making little clouds. That would be the way I would.
Ooh, I can do clouds.
And John can do clouds now too. So he's going, I can do clouds, and we're leaving some of this dark to show through. See, like that? I'm going to come in here like this and add a few. Now, to keep getting paint. Now, as I come down here, this is like a big hunk of this stuff that was here. So this is our first area of the light. This is our first bit of light on the ice cream, like that. And maybe we'll have a little bit over on this side, just a touch here, up here, like that. Okay? So now we're not quite done yet, but that's a good start. Now I might take a little burnt umber and a little tiny bit of the background color, a little bit of burnt umber, no white in it now, a little bit of the background color, and I might come up here like this and add a little bit of dark shadow on this side in a couple places. Now just tap that in. See that? You want to tap that in and then come down into here and tap in a couple of places in here like that, where it's a little bit dark, kind of break that up. Now, pinch the brush, come in here to titanium white, and we're not using the liquid anymore, we're using the heavy body. And I want to come right on top of this while this is still wet, and I'm doing these little kind of almost like little cloud things. This is the highlight on the ice cream, on the chocolate, okay? And these are kind of, how you want to make these is very tiny, and you could use a tiny brush if you don't have one of these little tiny accent brushes, and you want them, if I can show you on here, if this is your ice cream like this, right, you want these kind of coming up like this, you know what I mean, very wiggly like that, okay? Sorry, everybody kind of see that? They're very wiggly, little dots. So don't do lines or it won't look like ice cream. Little tiny dots, you can skip a space and just kind of do some little highlighting things. And then here on the top of this, we're going to do that lighter color right here with a little bit of burnt sienna and mixed in with that. Okay, same color. I'm going to come in here like this and tap in some sort of reddish brown color right in here like that. Maybe up here.
Oh, good. We're frozen
like that.
now.
Are we frozen?
We're frozen ice cream.
Aha! We're frozen ice cream. You're such a riot. Okay, so I'm sorry we're frozen, but we'll just have to keep going. And I want to put some of this.
Oh my! Here's a question for you.
Here's some lighter color down here, like this, which is the ice cream that's down here at the bottom.
Let's wait till we get a feedback on this one.
Okay.
And we're starting to come back.
Good.
That's weird. Okay, here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Ginger if you can mix a heavy-bodied gel with wall paint to paint on your canvas.
No. Don't do it.
It's a totally different kind of
yeah, it's
quality.
different kind of paint. Yeah, you don't want to do that. I know. I've seen some people do it. I actually have seen that done. I don't recommend it. I never would recommend that. But what you can do. Here's what you can do with wall paint. All right. Now that we said you can't do it, right? Here's what you can do. What can I do? Really?
Yeah,
I
what
can
can I
do
do?
something, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing a mural, I would suggest going to the store and buying, like for instance, you know you're going to have a blue sky and you're going to have, I don't know, some green hills or something for a kid's mural or something. You know, go buy some, you know, those oop paints. Those oops. Oops are the mistakes that they make at the hardware store mixing something for somebody, and buy little quarts of that and use wall paint for most of it, and then use your good acrylics for the rest of the mural. So you're not trying to do the whole mural with stuff like this. I mean, that's nuts. So yeah, that's when you, but you don't mix, you know, you let one dry, okay? Okay, so you wouldn't do that. All right, so we're saying that there's that. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my, that same color, and I'm going to mix it into my background with a little white. I want to come up here on my spoon, start here with my first bit of color on the spoon. That's just there like that. Bring that down. A little more white with that, a little bit more, there, now a little more purple. Just come over here on the spoon like that. There, into the, on each side of the ice cream like that. There, right, there's a spoon. Then if I pinch my brush, I can come right along here like this. Let's say there's the light highlight, and a little bit of light highlight up here on the spoon like that. Okay, there you go. So there's the spoon. Now, let's just rinse the brush again, and let's do some pink. Let's take some magenta and just regular white and make a light pink color, very light, just very light pink color. And let's just come on up here like this now. This is sort of dried. And let's just sort of color in our pink ice cream. This is fun, isn't it? We used to have this ice cream parlor in Aspen. It was called the Pink Parrot. And after movies, when Cinnamon was a little kid, we'd, well, even before she was born, we'd go over there. Her dad and I would go over there after the movies and, you know, meet our friends and all have, you know, ice cream at the Pink Parrot. That was just something we did. And then John remembers Farrell's Fabulous Fun. He remembers the Farrells. They're out of business now, but they used to have, and I remember taking Cinnamons there in California. We used to go back when we moved out of Aspen in Southern California. Now I'm adding a bit more magenta on this side, okay, because it's a little bit pinker. See that? So we're just saying this is a little darker on this side of our ice cream, like that. The same thing over here. It's a little bit darker. See, I'm just sort of tapping this in, and this is a little bit, you know, makes a little shadows in here. See where I'm doing? And then take a little bit of this magenta, kind of coats a big hunk of paint here, and then just right in here like this. We're just saying there's a little, kind of a little crease here where there's some magenta, a little bit darker in here. Before I'm having to dry it, do you see what I'm doing? Before I'm having to dry it, I'm adding a few of these little dark sections, like that, to the light. I haven't put any white on yet, but I can.
Manette says she still has the ferrules.
You still have a Farrell's, Manette? Really? God, yeah, and they always had this thing. Farrell's is fabulous fun, and they'd have these great, giant ice cream sundaes.
Huge.
Huge. And John says he never ordered one.
Not that big.
I think that's almost like a group effort, you know, when you do that. You better like the people in the group, too, you know. Everybody's feeling well today. All right, now we're taking the same colors, and we're coming down here against them. We didn't do white on it now before, so this will automatically look darker because it's going over the dark background. And so this is going to be, this is our ice cream showing up under here like this, see? And it's going to seem darker automatically because it's over something dark, not over something light. And we want to make this kind of darker back over here. And
oh yeah, drummers marching down the aisle and stuff. That was a fun place.
And they always did happy birthday for the kids. It was really nice.
Uh-oh, Farrell's reopened here in Sacramento, and it's horrible. Nothing like it used to be. You can't bring things back, you know?
Yeah, you really can't. You know, you really can't bring things back. I mean, it's just, I think a lot of stuff is just the memories you had, you know, the times you had. Now I'm going to introduce some Naphtha Crimson because I want some little brighter red on my ice cream. But this is sort of fun, isn't it? I mean, I just have to say, I think this is really a fun thing, and we haven't even done all that much. So here's a little Naphtha Crimson and magenta together. And we want this a little bit darker here, like that. And a little bit darker up here on the crack. A few little dots. Don't make straight lines, you guys. Try to dot all this, skip a space, make it kind of uneven, okay? And the same here, a little bit of dark right there.
Avoid cloning. No cloning.
Yeah, and then a tiny bit, a little bit of blue to the ultramarine blue all by itself to that red. Get it a little bit darker. And then down in here, let's see, a little bit of magenta maybe with it, little ultramarine blue. Let's make this a little bit darker. Almost a dark kind of pink purple with too red. Let me just get that off. All right, let's new plan. Magenta and maybe a little tiny Dazzling purple. Let's try that. See if that isn't happier. We have no Dazzling purple out, but if we had any, it would have worked. Okay, all right, so we're just good with that, right? Good with that. Yeah, anyway, that was sort of fun. We just we used to do, those are, you remember those fun restaurants can be, the experiences in a restaurant are, kind of cool. You remember these fun times you had. Okay, so I'm coming under here like this, sort of skinning up the white line. All right. Now, this is dark here. I need some more light purple. So let's take a little bit of white and purple. And I need a little bit more light purple. Okay, like that. Here we go. Let's just get some light purple going here. Well, I'd like to do that. Maybe I have to dry something. I bet at this point what's kind of the holdup is me not drying it. But this is dry, so what I want to do now, right, and I can do that, is I'm going to show you a little something different. I'm going to put a little white on here like this. Okay, like this. And I'm going to put a little white on here. A little white in here like this. Now, I've got a plan, so just kind of bear with me. And you're going, what plan? I see no plan, Ginger. You got some sort of plan? Yeah, I do. A little bit of plan. All right, now I'm going to dry that. Then I'm going to show you a little glazing technique, all right? And I want to make sure we've announced the winner of our painting. If you came late, we did the drawing of our original painting while I'm drawing. This was the original painting that we gave away from the last 3 weeks. And John has the lady, will tell you her name again. Just in case you came late. In the meantime, I'm going to dry this, okay? This is our ice cream fun, all right?
Wait, I gotta find it. I got it.
All right. Okay,
Putting it
ready?
down. Yep. All right, the winner was Lori Riley of the painting, The Promise. So Lori, if you're out there, which I haven't seen your name go by, we will contact you, get a shipping address and all that good stuff. And we'd like to thank Sue for donating her week that she got to another one of our scholarship folks that's in need. A lot of the money you guys send in to us is used for these supplies, and we also have a scholarship fund on the website in my late wife's name, and we'll have more information on that in the future. And she's back.
All right, so I'm using some golden gloss glazing liquid, and I'm just going to put a little out on my canvas right here, just a few drops.
What kind of white were you using?
That was just this white here was just the pour,
The-
you know, this
the
one,
floor,
the
the flow.
golden, the thin, and I did it because I wanted it real thin
Yeah,
and to
okay.
dry real quick. So here's some glazing medium and a little purple. I'm going to come up here on the side here,
Oh, so you
glazing,
totally moved the
and a
whole
little bit of
thing
this
around.
purple
Okay.
all by itself up here. Let's maybe do this up here. Probably should have put this up here. Now you can, all right, just like that. See, like that, very thin, right? Now what I'm going to do is just glaze over this bottom right here, like that, the bottom of our vase, our little ice cream cup here with some purple. I'm going to glaze over it, and right over here like this, the white on the bottom, and I want to glaze over any of this white here, like this, just a little bit right like that, glaze over some of this white, and I'm going to do a little bit of glazing over this. All of this right here, and this side of our top of our ice cream dish. So now I'm out of glazing fluid. I'll just put it up here where I'm just doing like a little drop here. You don't need much, just need enough. I want this very thin, and I'm going to wipe the brush off because I used it to grab the paint with. And I'm going to come over here. So I'm going to glaze over this like that. And any of those little white bits that I put in here, I'm going to give a little purple hint to, and I'm just right over here like this, right over this light line that we did here, like that. All right, so now the glazing, here's the thing about the glazing stuff. It doesn't dry very quickly. All right, I mean, it really doesn't. So, you know, you may or may not, you know, but I'd rather do this than water because I can get it really thin. All right, so now, while that's sort of drying a little bit, I'm going to just let that dry. Now I want you to see what we're painting here. See, here's our picture, right? I want to get this sort of shading into our ice cream. So that's going to require phthalo blue, not purple. And so we don't, very little of that, just the tiniest amount that we can put out. And we're going to start with white and a little tiny, and just either white, doesn't matter, a little tiny bit of phthalo blue, so we don't need it very much. Now we're going to take some of this background color, all right, and add to that, make kind of a gray, like that. Okay, so that's my gray color for my ice cream, you know, right there. Now that's still a little bit bright, and so I'll put a little tiny bit of just a tiny bit of brown in it. I need to gray that out just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to come up here like this and tap this in. Can you see it? Just in a few places on the light's coming from here. All right, so the right side of our ice cream is going to have a little bit of shadow to it, even over here a little bit. Not a lot, but just in a few places. We're going to say that, and that's the only place that blue is. And then when it almost could have a little bit more burnt umber in it to gray it even more than I had it here. Here, I want to just, the burnt umber will gray it even more. See, like that. So I want it a little bit grayer than that, but that's okay. So then when that dries, I'll put mixing white over that, okay? So, well, if that's okay, now we're back to the white, okay? So we're letting this, the glazing medium will actually have to put a, we'll have to put the hairdryer on, but now I'm tapping in some light highlights for the pink ice cream, like that, and a little whiter highlights. And see, I'm going kind of from left to right, okay, like this, making little light highlights. And let's try a little bit down in here like this, and you can add a little tiny bit of, you can make this very light pink if you want, just have the slightest tint to the white, like that. Doesn't all have to be real white. Maybe a little bit lighter up here to separate these two. Little bits of ice cream from the others, all right? And then how about like this? And that's pretty good. You don't need a lot. Surprisingly, you'd think you'd need a lot of this, but just a few touches of white can be very effective. That. Just a little bit, few little dots along here, just very next to nothing. Just to suggest, all you're doing is suggesting the ice cream. Everybody's mind will fill it in. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in here. Do we have any questions while I'm painting this in, John?
Let me do a quick scan if I could, boss.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to just come in here like that and do this, and a little bit darker down in here like that. Okay, and then just...
And it says I cannot make those perfectly made thin lines on the edge of a bowl.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm using this angle brush and I'm pinching it like this and getting a sharp edge. Now watch, I'm just watch. I'm flattening out the brush on one side, right? If you haven't been watching our painting a journey with John's journey, that really explains how to do some of this. Let's just put this down over here like this, using just the last hairs of the brush, holding it straight up and down like this. Okay, and then we're coming along here like this and adding another little bit of a white highlight, just a couple broken ones here and a little bit of white over this. Now let's put a little bit of white back over this. This is just titanium white. Now we want some of this a little bit brighter here like this over our white, and this is our white ice cream like that, and maybe a little bit in here like that. Okay, now
the other question is, which came up the other day, the red slash through your name.
Okay, the red slash through our name. One of the things that Cinnamon and I found very interesting when we spent time in France, when we went over there back in, I don't know, a number of years ago, and spent a month one time and 2 months and another time rented some property and just painted and drove around. And whenever you're leaving a city like Paris or La Bastide or anywhere in France, instead of in Houston, they would say, leaving Houston, you know, thanks for coming, y'all, or something, right? There'd be a sign, okay? Every town has it. They like to let you know when you're leaving the city limits. But the French are very pragmatic, bless their hearts. They just put a red slash through the name. So when the red slash through Paris means you're out of town, right? This is it. No more Paris.
You're done. They're
red
out.
Slash, right? So I put a red slash through my name, indicating that I'm finished with the painting, and it's sort of a signature piece for me. That's why I do it. Just in case you wanted to know.
So when you put the red slash through it, you are really done with it.
That was the idea, but then of course I'm never done. But that's the idea.
How many videos can we go back and see that's not the case?
Yeah, I know. Well, but but the intention's there, right? Okay, so you can kind of see where we're doing this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back in. You see, let's come back in with some white now. And just on the tip of the brush, right?
Titanium white.
The titanium white. And let's lighten up using little dots just on this edge. You could use a little polka dotty brush if you wanted to. Just on this edge here where the light's catching our ice cream, we're making these little curvy bits here. This all sort of curves like that. Just up here like that. See, just where the light's catching this, all right? And then...
that's a good one. Here's a good question. I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you on this one.
Sure.
Ginger, when you started painting, I'm gonna add when you started painting with acrylics.
Yeah.
What was the most annoying thing you found in being a student? Wait a minute.
I started teaching or painting with it?
Well, see, I want to know when you started painting. I think she wants to know when you were annoying from a student, when you were teaching.
Oh, when I was teaching. Well,
you can answer hers, then you can answer mine.
Yeah, okay, so the question is, when I first started teaching people, and I've been teaching people, I've always known I could teach people. I've always known I could paint, but I really thought my biggest gift was explaining it to someone else. You know, there's lots of people that are very good at what they do, and gosh, they're wonderful. There's a lot of people that, certainly are expert at every field, but they have a hard time explaining it to you. As an example, my brother tried to teach me computers one time, right? Back when the computers were just coming out. In the 90s, we started getting computers, and we had our first computer, and my older brother, who's now since passed away, Dennis, he was living with us, and he'd say, but I asked him to do something. He'd go, but I told you yesterday. And I'm going, yeah, but this is today. That yesterday. What does that mean? Nothing, right? And he goes, and he really felt if he just shouted it, that somehow like people don't understand the language. They go to another country and they think if they shout the English louder, you're going to get it, right? Where's the restaurant? They have to say it really loud, then you're going to get it. Well, Dennis just thought he could shout that at me, and that just wasn't very helpful. And then every once in a while, he'd have these little pop-up things that would come on the computer because he was so annoying. He'd go, "Thank God for Uncle Dennis." When he did us a favor, they'd come up all over in the oddest places because he could sabotage pretty good too. So I guess the question is, I'm going to do a little white and burnt sienna while we're talking. So the question is, I've always known that I could teach people. And I understand that shouting at people isn't helpful, okay? So when I talk about, I have a whole list of annoying questions that people have asked. I'm going to do a video on that one time.
Oh, that would be fun.
You know what I mean? Like, gosh, you know what I really love? I just love those elephants that paint with their trucks. That is the neatest art. Don't you think so? Do you think you could paint like that? I'm loving that one, right? Yeah, I've got a whole list of those things, right?
Yeah, that's good. We're gonna have to do a video on that.
There's almost a video on annoying questions that people ask, professional artists. What's that? It doesn't look like anything yet, and you're going, no.
Beep, beep, beep. Censored.
Because a lot of people won't paint in public because a lot of artists, because it's got to look kind of crummy before it looks good, and that people are going, doesn't look like anything, Judith. I don't believe this woman can paint at all. What is she doing? That's kind of stuff, right? So this is another one. My kid is so talented. You will not believe the wonderful stuff that they're painting. And then you're looking and going, well, but the thing of it is that it doesn't really take talent to paint. It's just practice. Some people get it a little quicker, but anybody can learn to paint. What we can't teach you is a good idea. Okay, we can't teach you imagination, which seems to be killed in most schools, but we can't teach you a good idea. And we can teach anybody the physical aspect of painting. So if you would just lose don't you love this? I can't paint a straight line. Well, lady, there's rulers for that. You don't need to. You know what I mean? There's tape and rulers, So get over that. And then, I have no talent. Trust me, it is not about talent, okay? It is about technique. It's a skill, like learning a language. It's a language, okay? That's what it is. It's a language. All right. So that's my high horse here. Is that a good question?
When you did fine with her. Now mine. When you first started working with acrylics, what was your most annoying thing with that?
With acrylics, painting with acrylics. Well, nobody knew the first thing about them. Okay. And the first thing, I'm doing a little light burnt sienna and white in case anybody's wondering what's going on here, right? Nobody knew the first thing about them. Okay. So, a lot of the techniques, and this is the thing, people say, why are you the gold standard of acrylic painting? Because I've been doing this since I was 17 years old, and I made up a lot of stuff nobody knows the first thing about. The way I teach acrylics and the way I do it is different than other people because they don't know. Really, they just know because I made it up, right? We were the Liquitex painted difference. In 1987, we won, 1987, when the Liquitex Painted Difference competition, global competition. Artists from all over the world sent it in. I had a show in New York, and they flew me up from Houston, and I had 5 first-place paintings and the grand prize winner. Okay, and I'm just saying that and I'm a lot better artist now than I was in 1987. I just want to say that to you.
Because you've keep working at it.
Because if you're not getting better, and this is one of the things, this is Ginger's little hot peeve here, is that I personally think that it's gender-based. Now, John is the exception, but it's gender-based. Most women continue to expand their knowledge. They tend to be on the spiritual side, not that men can't be, but women tend to be that way, and they understand that you're never, you're a great cook, but you can always be better. You're a great artist, but you can always get better. A lot of times men, they get to a certain point, and they just say, I know it all. Don't tell me anything. I've learned it all. Don't tell me, right? And there's never an end to your art journey. Never. Everybody's getting better all the time, and you're making new connections in your brain. It's a great thing to know how to do. Just saying. Just great thing to know how to do. So Ginger's high horse here is there to put a little of this chocolate stuff down in here like this. See what we're doing? Isn't this cool? promise.
That's cool ice cream.
Yeah, question. Yeah, this is we're up for questions. Yeah.
Does Ginger have one original painting she has done that she couldn't part with?
Yeah, I've got a few that I've never parted with.
Where are they?
Well, there's the umbrella painting on the downstairs. You've seen that on the
Yeah.
Downstairs. I've got the round boat.
Oh yeah, the round boat.
I've got some. I've had and some I parted with. I was kind of sorry about. But the nice thing about being an artist is that you can paint them again, right?
And usually they come out better the second time.
So you can paint them again. It just sometimes, and I have to say this, we're going to start putting some shadows now in our vase down here at the bottom. See, now we're going to come down over all this is dry a little bit here now. And then we're going to come down and start putting some of the background shadows in this. Okay, like that. We're going to come in here like this, come this way on our vase. Isn't this a tricky way to do it? I was trying to think of a way to show you how to do the highlights on this, and I thought this was so tricky. Look at that. Isn't that just a cool way to I think it would have been harder for you to paint this in otherwise. You come along like this, the top of this like that. Look at that. Isn't that neat?
What are the books again that you suggest for new painters and intermediates?
I have a
we need to put that on the website.
We have but on Pinterest I have books I recommend and a whole board on just books, and books that I like and I recommend people,
So go to her Pinterest page.
Yeah, Pinterest page. Ginger Cook Live, all one word. By the time I figured out Pinterest, Ginger Cook was gone. There was no Ginger Cook anymore. I had to do Ginger Cook Live, all one word. Cinnamon kept trying to get me to do Pinterest, and when she first started, she was just, I don't know what she was doing on it. She wasn't painting or anything. She'd just say, so many people liked something I did, and I'm going, yeah, okay. And what is it you did? Well, I found some orange things on one page, and I found something else, and I put it all together, and I made an orange board. And I really didn't understand why I just didn't have enough time to bother with that. And then I discovered what I love about Pinterest, is that these boards stay up. You can put your students' work up there. That Cinnamon's the first one to do that, and I thought it was a great idea. And so my student work's up there, my work's up there, some of my original art's up there. There's a board a little bit about me. There's just all kinds of support. I have things like, what makes, art galleries that, not art galleries, but art studios where I love to have, and I love, adding stuff to it, because, there's some people out there that have some seriously nice stuff. Seriously nice. You like that expression, seriously nice?
Agnes is asking what color is that. I have no idea what color she would be talking about at this time, but why don't you give us a rundown again of some of the
all right,
flavors.
so this color is the same as our background color. This is purple, ultramarine blue, and Payne's gray. That's this color. All right, this is our background color, which is why we're doing it. And we're coming up here a little bit, and we're adding a little bit of that color up in here in a couple places. See, like that. And we're coming over here, and we're adding our darks. A little bit of our dark color, right, like this. Coming up here, kind of defining our chocolate ice cream again. Maybe breaking that up right there, like that. See, isn't that cool? And coming over here like this. Okay, that's our dark color, right, like this. And let's see. Let's take a little bit of here. You don't necessarily want to have to outline the whole vase, but you can get something fairly thin like this. Okay, where you have just a slight outline on it. Okay, then we're going to come back with some white. And a little bit of mixing white. What we have now is sort of a floating vase. But we're going to take some transparent mixing white now. And I'm going to come back here like this, using just the flat of my brush. I'm just going to sort of scribble some of this on.
Don't freak out, people. I freaked out when she did this earlier.
And I'm going to put a little purple with it.
Oh, she's doing it different.
Yeah, just put a little purple with it. I think I will glaze it back, right? But I'm going to come in here like this. Yeah, it's probably just do it more like this and then just glaze it back. I'm going to come around here like this because I want to say, I don't want to have to just have the whole table like this. So here we go. It's just something like this. All right. So you want to kind of keep that a little level. So, all right. So there's our table.
Here's another question for you.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little dark and put some of that back here, too. I'm going to break that up a bit. Yeah, another question. Yeah, that's good. See, I'm going to break this up a bit, too.
I may be too nosy asking this, but what's the most Ginger has made on a painting?
One of my paintings ever sold for, there was a gallery in Laguna Beach, California, $20,000, I think, for the two of them.
It was a matching set?
No, it was two different paintings. I think
really?
somebody paid like 14,000 for one, and I don't know whatever the difference was for the other. Yeah, you know.
I know, higher math.
Get the higher math. I don't know. They paid that much for the the other one, right?
Chris would like to know, what is the weirdest subject you've ever painted and sold?
Well, there's a couple of these. Back when I was the weirdest subject, I like that question, don't you?
There it is! Question of the day! I knew it would be a question of the day. Chris J., you have just won 1 week of
Ginger Cook Live lessons.
Or one downloadable lesson. Please contact us in the Contact Us form on gingercooklive.gallery. Ginger, now for the question. What's the weirdest and
All
sold?
right, so the weirdest one I ever had, there were two actually. There was a, back in the 80s, I was in this gallery in the mall, and this gal had this art gallery, and we got, and one of the things I've always liked about painting was I like to do all kinds of different things. And these two guys came in, and they wanted to know if I would paint on velvet and use iridescent paint.
Iridescent paint.
Yeah, remember those back in the 60s, I think you could cross the border in Mexico and Tijuana, and there'd be these kids, and they'd be selling, adults selling these velvet Elvis paintings and that stuff. And then it sort of got to be kind of I think they're worth some money now, but at the time, those giant sombreros and velvet Elvis paintings and stuff, right? And velvet is very interesting to paint on. I actually painted on that years ago, way back then when I was like, before Cinnamon was born, I actually did a really cool painting on black velvet with a little log cabin and some snow and stuff. So I knew how to paint on it, okay? And I took it to a gallery, and they just laughed me right out, right? That's okay. You gotta have these learning experiences when you're young. So anyway, so they wanted this, and so I found some iridescent paint. They wanted it to kind of glow in the dark, and they paid for it, okay? So that was weird. And then Cinnamon and I got, and we're starting to put some pink highlights on our vase now, you guys with me? Okay. So Cinnamon and I got into this, was one of the big lessons we learned was never take jobs that you're not happy with, right? There isn't enough money. We got asked to do 12 48 by 60 paintings. That's the size of this one behind me, of this company, and they installed commercial air conditioners for a living. That's what they did.
They wanted that big of a painting?
And they wanted 12 paintings of what they did. They wanted a painting of an outhouse in the background with, a tractor. And tractor! It was like a big backhoe.
Hey, we can add that to the barn.
And the outhouse had to have the correct roof. And it's not like a tree where you can just throw a branch here because it would look good. Apparently, they care where those silly little wires go on the backhoe, so you have to know. You just can't just throw them anywhere because artistically, the wire would look good here and better over here, okay? And they wanted the correct safety equipment on. They wanted people in an office planning out the stuff. They actually had me painting something with a guy that was Cinnamon and I did those together, and she did a bunch and I did a bunch, and we both decided then and she took all the photographs for it. We decided then that we were never doing it. There wasn't enough money, and the gallery we got some good money for those for us in those days. In fact, this is so long ago. Cinnamon was in college, and this is the paint that's left over from that project. Okay, so this is over 17 years old because Cinnamon was in college. I said this is from that project. Okay. Yeah.
It's almost an antique bottle of paint.
I'm telling you, there people say, how long can it last? It can last a long time, right? So anyway, so we put that in there, and I'm putting a little bit of these light highlights here on our, on our vase here, and so anyway, and we're going to put some little white bits now here like this, and so yeah, that was weird, and it wasn't fun. And originally when the gallery came to me and said, this guy wants all these paintings for his boardroom, so the workers doing their thing, and they wanted their company people in it too, just not any old person. Couldn't be any old random person driving the backhoe. It had to be Fred over there that worked over in mechanics. They wanted his portrait on the backhoe. I mean, my gosh, are you kidding me? So and at the time, Cinnamon going to college, she needed money, and I was supporting that, and we said, okay, we'll do it together. I said, I'm not doing it. If you want to do it with me and I'll split the money with you, we'll do it together. Okay? And we did. But we then discovered that this was not, just because someone's willing to pay you a lot of money to do something isn't necessarily what you want to do. So that was a good lesson all in all. We learned that very early on. And no, I'm sorry, I don't paint that. So that was the weirdest thing. I think the outhouse was the weirdest
That's
thing,
gotta
and
be
then
one of the strangest
having
things.
them whine about the roof. Really, seriously, it's the wrong roof on the outhouse. You know, ours. Some of them are like this, but ours is rounded. Like, really? Don't you rent those things? How did that become your outhouse? You know what I mean? Just your name on the door? Did the company make the outhouses too? Oh, thank God they didn't want us to just do a series of outhouses. Oh, good grief, right? So anyway, and then I had to colorize them. So what I would do is, like, for instance, I had the tractor, the backhoe, whatever that thing is, this big yellow thing, right? With the bucket and stuff. And I made it rain, and then I had all the, I had these like deep gouges in the dirt with water in them, and then I did reflections from this beautiful yellow, see now it's beautiful, this yellow thing, giant thing, machinery thing, in reflecting in the water. Okay, so I mean they were stunning paintings. Okay, and I did them a lot like Thomas Kincaid would have painted them, except we were talking about drinking
Outhouses
fountains and drinking fountains, and a guy, the guy when he was welding something, I had the floor all wet. Of course, he would have electrocuted himself, but I didn't care. Floor all wet, and there were all these sparks and everything, and all these colors were reflected in the cement. So, I mean, they were some stunning paintings. And then at the very end of it, we had to go back, and then the company had all their workers look at the paintings, who then critiqued them. Oh, man, this was painful. And then we had to go back and change a bunch of stuff. Well, our glasses are different, or so-and-so has longer hair. I mean, swear to God, we went back and changed all of that. So that was the lesson. What you don't want to do. All right, now we're getting some white here. You guys with me like that? Here's some little white highlights on the, now we're doing the kind of dramatic white highlights on our vase here. Now we're going to come back here with the little line. This is all the same brush. You notice I haven't changed brushes once. Okay, a little bit of white right here. A little bit of white in here like this. How about a little bit of white? Here, pinch the brush, right? It's looking kind of nice. Back us out just a hair, would you, darling?
Back up.
So the people can get the whole picture. Can you see how cool this is looking? I mean, this is neat, right? All right. So I hope that was a good, I hope that kind of answered your question. That was really funny. And that's the only time I've been ever called in on the carpet about not getting a job done on time. And the guy called me in, and I thought you guys were reliable, and I'm thinking, oh man, we are, but she's going to college and she's got finals, and nobody wants to hear these things, and we're trying to get it done, and please just I remember just, and then we were leaving on vacation, and it was a thing. But anyway, we got it done. Bottom line is we got it done. They were all happy.
Thank you, Anna Marie, for the donation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Which I appreciate that so much. That is so nice. We really appreciate that.
Somewhere back a while ago, somebody asked, did you like any of your mother's paintings?
Did I like any of my adopted mother was an artist. Now you got to, that's different than the psychic mother. My adopted mother was an artist. And the thing of it is that she believed, and you'll still hear, me say this today, she believed that paintings sold if they were, and she wasn't wrong, our whole house was in neutrals. You know what I mean? Everything was in brown and earth tones. She was one of these earth mother people, right? Except it wasn't warm and fuzzy, but, the earth tones, okay? And she kept, all her paintings were in beiges and browns and, dead leaves and dead twigs. And she did a lot of Sumi ink stuff with panda bears and stuff, but it was all black and white or browns and stuff. And so I actually liked some of her paintings. I did. And she had some horses that were just beautiful. I really liked that. And but she didn't give her paintings to the family. In fact, one of her tricks was, I never asked her for any. I think I had one of hers at one time. Well, in all fairness, now let's just be fair. In all fairness, when I went to college, she gave me some paintings for a dorm room. I think those were the horse paintings I liked, okay? Because I had horses as a kid. And when I left college, I left the pictures. And that was the last painting. Even though I was 17, that was the last painting she ever gave me, right? Well, understandably so. She was very offended by that. But she used to, I remember her giving some paintings to my brother, and then years later telling me, well, I just loaned you those. I've sold that. You got to give it back. And she was constant. Everybody was afraid to take anything from her because she'd want it back later and forget, she never really technically gave you anything, okay? So we kind of there's our spoon, right? And now what we want to do here is glaze over this white a little bit here, okay? So we're going to take a little of this glazing medium and more of the purple. I'm going to glaze over that white area.
Could you close that top, please?
What, this time?
Thank you.
Oh, good point. That's a good idea. Say, you're always thinking, aren't you?
I'm trying to.
Just, well, keep it up. It works for some people, Eventually it'll come to you, So, okay, so I've got a little purple going over this, glazing medium going over this background here, like that. That kind of push it back a little bit, so it's just, I think that's sort of pretty, don't you?
Agnes would like to know, what do you think of Kincaid towards the end of his life when he started going a little crazy?
Well, what, you can't be judgmental with people. You don't know why he was going crazy, and define crazy. He was his mistress thought he was swell, right? Just
yeah.
So define crazy. But I think that what he did for art, he made more people aware of art than probably any current artist. Most people have heard of him for that very reason. He really did make people aware of art, and his paintings really were something. And he was on QVC and shopping, and there was sort of a scandal involved with him. And here's what the deal was. You guys want to know what the deal was with that?
Ooh, you know the lowdown, do you?
I know kind of the lowdown, because I had a friend that what happened was back late 1990s. He Thomas Kincaid had some publishers, and he was the guy that if you turn the lights down, a lot of paintings will do that. We're putting in a few little light highlights now on our table, on our ice cream thing. A lot of artists could do this. I mean, this style of painting's been done forever. But the yellow, if you turn the lights down, it looks like it's glowing in the dark. And he had his galleries were instructed to do that, and so he started opening these signature galleries. There was one in Houston, all right, and the thing of it is that the people that were involved in the galleries, and a lot of people had retirement incomes, loved his artwork because it was really quite lovely. If you were, some people didn't like it. I always liked it. You were not allowed to lower the price, and he had all these rules connected with that, how many paintings you had to buy a month. So it was a big deal to be given a franchise, and he had some specific rules on what was acceptable in his franchise. Let's put a little light highlight right here, a little bit of white here. Remember, you're not outlining the whole thing in white. You're just adding a few little white highlights here and there. Everybody's clear on that, right? Yes. So anyway, what happened was then there was a Tuesday morning. I don't know if you've ever got those stores where you are, but Tuesday morning was a discount store in Houston, and some of his prints were there. And what he would do is, like, if this was a limited edition ice cream print, okay, an 8x10, then it would be, and maybe there was say 3,000 of those, okay, and you had 1 or 3,000 or whatever you bought. Then they'd make it 9x12 and sell the edition again, and then 30x40, and so they've sold a lot of the same images and just changed the size, and then or cropped it differently. My understanding, and that's what I was told by a friend of mine, is that what they were doing. And then some of them ended up on however that happened, QVC Tuesday morning, and these gallery owners that had invested in there and weren't allowed to discount them. Look, the quality of a print, the print that those gallery owners had, probably on the best paper with the best stuff ever. There's a lot of different qualities of print, okay? So then the same image, if it's on a different size, printed on cheaper paper, people didn't get it. So it kind of really hurt at the sales in the galleries, because the average person didn't know the difference between something on a good piece of paper and fine ink and something just cheaply printed somewhere. So there was a big scandal around that, and a big bunch of lawsuits and all those. You don't see those galleries anymore. There was a lot of hard feelings about that. So I don't know. I would say, as an artist, I think that he had the very best intentions, and he had a business manager. I understand he had a business manager that, artists are not business people, and we get blamed sometimes for the stupidest things our business managers might do. Okay, and just like when I had my puzzles, and I had my name on the puzzles, and I had the name on the puzzles. And the people that made the puzzles didn't have their name on the puzzles. So when I would get these, I had my name and email on them, people would write me and say, I'm missing a piece to the puzzle. You're the worst person that ever lived on the planet. I spent all this time doing your puzzle. I'm down to the last piece. It's not here. You're a really crummy person. You know what I'm saying? Man, I didn't make this puzzle. I just let them have my image. You know, they pay me for the right to the image. But, you know, people don't understand that. And I don't think people understood. I don't think that Mr. Kincaid had any idea what his business manager was doing behind his back. But it really didn't matter when the lawsuits started coming in. So if he had some problems later in life, I would say he probably had reason to be upset. How's that? You know, I mean, just again, you can't really judge people because you don't get the whole backstory. So we certainly don't know his backstory. Is that fair?
Sounds good. The painting behind you, what size is that?
48 by 60.
And if I want to do a painting that size, how do I know how much paint I'm going to need? That's from Cheryl.
Well, I don't know, Cheryl. Just probably, you know, if you started off with your full set of tubes of paint, you'd still have some left when you were done.
Really?
Yeah, still have some left when you were done. You could, you know, you wouldn't use them all up. I would say you would not use them all up. Okay, so I'm going to go back here a little more. This is dark now. I'm going to add a little more highlights here. We're almost done with this. Do you guys like it?
I like it. It's making me want some ice cream.
I know. Isn't it just fun? I'm going to make this a little darker down in here. See, darken it down in here. Here's our ice cream down here and into the dish. We've got this, you know, maybe I'm going to put a little bit of, I like this little bit of pink here, you know. Oh, I don't want that right there. Let's just move that. But it could be reflecting.
What was that
on the
white
glass.
that you were doing down there? Is that the titanium or was that zinc? What were you
That was the titanium.
Okay.
The zinc was on the table, and then
Okay.
then
And that's the only
was
place you've used the zinc,
yeah.
right?
Then this was the titanium. You know, this was the and I'm going to take. I don't want this full. I don't want it all the way white around the bottom. I want some purple and then a little bit of the white to show. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
We don't want just like a white outline. You want just sort of stagger it, and if I'm going to have the light outline here, maybe I'll put a little dark right here like that. Wherever there's a light, there's a dark, so that little outline shows up. And then I'd say we're pretty close to finished. Might do a little bit more on the spoon. Just you see me pinching the brush all the time. I love these angle brushes. If you guys want to know where to get them, you know, most art stores, Ruby Satin Silver carries these, and my favorite are the 1/2, 1/4 inch, and 3/8 inch. Most online art stores carry them, like Dick Blick and something. And if you go to our website, my favorite place to buy these brushes, because we all get a discount, is the Brush Guys. And go to teachers page, and then you'll see these. Okay, really cool brushes. And you can see we did the whole painting with these.
What is the best canvas pads to buy?
Canvas pads. Well, I've been using Jerry's, the Paramount, for the 6x8. And people say, why do you do that? Well, look, you guys, we've got a lot of food paintings on our website, you know, for our members. If you're one of the ones and you're doing this ice cream, you might consider doing the strawberries. Or here's our, you know, these are 6x8, or maybe the bananas if you're not into desserts. Or we've got this cool pepper. And then you can take a little bit of foam core and mount these on some foam core and then frame them. See that? This has just been glued on foam core. And here's one of my favorite ones too. These apples. All right. So we've got some beautiful, beautiful food paintings. Last week, if you didn't see them, we had for our members, gingercooklive.gallery. Here's our cherries. These have been varnished, and look what the color did for theirs. And so. Then, you know, and Andrew, if you happen to be watching, you'll notice that I put the highlights on when the cherries were still wet, and then there's the tiniest bit of a few bits of white highlight, just a tiniest bit of white highlight on there, okay? Very little on the dry part, you know? And then here, this is coming up soon, probably a couple weeks, we're hoping, for members on our gallery. Another one's the tangerines and stuff. This is all learnable stuff. This is all learnable. Okay, this is all a matter of just building up your skills and making your brush work, you know. Again, good ideas are, you know, a challenge. Like yesterday, we had Honore. She sent us that picture of that, remember we showed you, of the gal in the swing. I just had a painting of a swing. She put a woman in it, made a much better painting than what I did, okay. I mean, you guys probably have much better ideas than I do. If I can show you how to facilitate your ideas, that's what John and I are trying to do by learning how to make the toys work. And I'd say we were pretty close to being done with this. There may be a couple little things I could do with a tiny brush now. That here's our photograph, okay? See, there's our photograph. And I think I could probably take a clean brush and glaze back a little bit of this this color right here with just some burnt sienna with some water, and glaze that back a little bit so it's not quite so white. You know, it's still light but not quite so white as this. That's our whiter highlight up here. Okay.
Cheryl would like to know what kind of glue you used on that one to glue it to the board.
What did we use, John? Do you remember?
I thought we used the varnish.
Yeah, you can use varnish. You can use a spray glue. You can use varnish.
You might have used a spray glue on that one. I don't remember.
I might have used a spray glue. Just to, you know.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, but you could use just about anything, right?
It looks like most of the people are saying spray. You must have used spray.
Yeah, probably a spray glue. So probably did use a spray glue. So it's not a terrible idea, right? So I want to get some more white in here. I'm just looking at my photograph now, just doing a few little highlights. We've had several
suggestions for whipped cream and a cherry on top.
We thought about that. Then, I'm going to do it. Shall I do it, John? I'm going to do it. He's going to go, what? What are we doing? I'm going to show you what we're going to do. You ready for this, you guys?
You're going to love it.
You're going to love it.
Have you dry? Wait. Dry everything. Make sure everything's dry.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to dry. Do you have anything you can show? How about our friend that did those clouds? She never painted clouds before, and she showed us this.
I thought we
just
did
from
that
this
yesterday.
YouTube video. Not the big cloud one. I don't think you showed. Did you?
I think I did yesterday.
Did you?
No, I didn't really load up anything today.
Okay. Well, you don't get to see anything. We're so sorry. Maybe we'll show you tomorrow, right?
You never know. Go ahead and dry that puppy. Okay. All right. Well, she's going to do something. We talked about this earlier, putting a cherry and whipped cream on top. And I think I know what she's going to do, but, you know, it's Ginger, so she may come up with something new. And we'll see where it goes when she comes back. Tomorrow we're going to be right now we're thinking about doing a lesson on perspective. We'll be talking about perspective and showing photographs of perspective, how to find a perspective in a photograph is what we're thinking right now. But tomorrow's not here yet, so we can't confirm that.
What are we thinking about tomorrow?
Perspective.
Yeah, we're talking about that and how to find it in your photos. Another little quick shadow here, right like that. Okay, up there, a little shadow. Okay, so I'm gonna do something really, I think, kind of fun. We're gonna take some ultramarine blue, some yellow, a little bit of phthalo. I think I had some phthalo over here, and we're gonna make this green thing. Let's see, do we have any red out yet? No, we used it all up. Let's put a little bit more red out. Okay, tiny bit of red. Red, grays, green. Everybody remembers that, yeah?
Oh, we all remember that.
Everybody remembers that. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So I think I'm gonna come along. Like,
you don't want to sketch it in. You're just going to go for it.
I'm going to go for it. I'm just trying to decide where I want it.
It's all quiet. She's about to make the putt. And where's the next tutorial like the Goss? Oh, remember when we did the Goss?
Oh yeah, something more like that. Yeah, something. Yeah, we have got some of those. We're starting to do those on our own website, gingercooklive.gallery. We start to do those, and I'm going to put a little shadow this way under it, so that makes it look like it's off the ground, like this.
We're tying them into the lessons that we're taking the painting from.
Yeah. So I think I want this to curve a bit more like this. There you go.
There we go.
And the question is now, who ate the cherry?
Who ate the cherry? That looks good. That looks good.
Who ate the cherry, right? Who ate the cherry, man?
I love it. That cherry stem.
That's the question, right? Who let the dogs out? Who ate the cherry?
Who
right?
ate the cherry?
All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of light right there. Okay, who ate the cherry? Okay, so I mean, I think you can't see. One of the reasons you want a pile of your dark background colors that you can come along here. If you can't do a skinny line, you can come back with a darker color and skin anything up. Make it thinner if you need to. Right? That's one of the advantages of doing that, is you've got that. And I think this is really fun, and I think I'd like to do a little color surprise.
I knew it.
I
was just thinking that myself.
It needs a little color surprise, so we're going to take a little phthalo blue,
okay,
right like that, and want to come up right here on this stem, right, just up here on the spoon,
Oh, really?
and just do a little light color right there on the spoon, just like that. I think it needs a little, and maybe a little purple and white too. We could maybe do that. Let's just say a little bit of light purple. There we go. Just a little bit there, a little bit on our spoon, right? Just to make it a little more interesting, right? And
Who
then
ate
do
the
I have a
cherry?
light edge? I think I had a whiter edge on my spoon. Here, let's get a light. Let's just come along here like this. There, and then right on the top here like that. It's coming around like that. There's our spoon. And I think I want to just take some dark and skinning it up a bit. I'm going to turn it upside down. I think my spoon's a little bit wide right here. You still want the top of it to curve. So I'm going to come here like this and just, this is why you always want to keep your background, some of your background color like that. So, all right, so we've kind of, made our spoon curve, and then we want to take some chocolate ice cream, which we didn't do yet, right? And come on up here like this. Ooh, too much paint, right? Like this. Ooh, too much paint. Look at
They're
that.
asking about our outline online. They used varnish last night.
Oh no, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna start with with something else, because that's not. I want to actually start with something you might want to put on your
Actually do.
canvas. Okay.
But we're
gonna
gonna do
that.
one. We're gonna do one, and we'll show it.
Yeah, and we'll definitely do one. But I want to start with something you actually might want to do on there. And let's I think we'll put a little more of this white out, and then I'll sign it. I think it's looking kind of cute. You guys, don't you like that? Who ate the cherry?
Who ate the cherry?
Because that's what people do. They come around and there should be a cookie or something. But we only have so much time to do this stuff, and I want to just.
Hey, once it's yours, let your imagination go crazy.
That's right. You know what I mean? You can just. Because I had thought about that, putting a cherry up there, and then we were talking about it at dinner and said, you know what, we ought to do who ate the cherry. I think
Who
that
ate the
would
cherry?
be. This is a little brighter right in here where the light's coming on our chocolate ice cream, like that. Okay. And and just bring this down in here like that. Let's take a little bit. I'm just kind of, I want to bring my vase.
Oh, we didn't mention the auction. The auction is over. We have all the invoices have been sent out. We're getting ready to start shipping the first batch of winners.
Oh yeah, and we spent some great time.
That was a lot of fun. We have some new ideas for our next auction. We're going to get some new software. We're going to do something fun to introduce the idea, kind of a test auction. And more information on that. Ginger won't say anything about it right now because she knows not to.
Yeah, no, we'll
It's going to be a surprise.
Okay, gonna be a little surprise there. Okay, so a little bit.
It's going to be fun.
It'll be fun. We're all about having fun, you guys, right? So I'm sorry, I'm just still adding a few little light touches here with the brown or a
Is
chocolate.
that what you're doing? We're kind of wondering what you're doing over
Yeah,
there.
just adding a few little more highlights to my brown ice cream, like
You
this.
didn't sign it yet, right?
No, I haven't signed it yet, so I needed a little bit of the burnt sienna down in here to make it feel more chocolatey. Need to break
Do you
up
have
the silk
white on
patch.
your hand?
Yeah, sure. Why?
Well, I'm seeing extra white dots down on the...
Oh, look at that. Where'd that come from?
I'm just...
Yeah.
Sammy ate the cherry. The consensus has come in.
Sammy ate the cherry.
I
yeah?
wouldn't doubt it. He made him cut up all those papers. He wanted a reward.
Okay, so here's a little bit of white here. All right, a little bit of white there. I wanted a few little bits of white, but
Hey,
not everywhere.
as we're finishing up, we wanted to thank everybody who participated in our auction. Again, the winner of the Promise.
The Promise, the painting of the Promise, the winner of
painting
this
of the
awesome
Promise.
painting, right? Do you want to announce that? This is
Is
we drew
Lori-
that today live. You all saw it, right?
Lori Riley is the big winner.
Congratulations, Lori. We're excited to send that to you. It'll come with your certificate of authenticity and a personal note. Okay?
Ooh, I love it.
And
So
you
we'll
know
be
what else is going
contacting
to come with Riley? Because I've just decided. Riley, you have not only won this painting, right? But you have won 1 month of Ginger Cook
Get
Live
out of
lessons.
town. She is giving the store away,
You
folks.
have won 1 month of Ginger Cook Live lessons with this painting.
Ginger Cook Live lessons. Ginger Cook Live lessons. I don't think that works.
No, it doesn't.
I don't think so. I'm going to have to go see if that's available. Now that it's on YouTube, and we're going to try to find it.
GingerCookLive.gallery, art lessons, creative art lessons. You won a month of those, free lessons, which comes with personal art coaching. So, Lori, this we didn't want you to, because we gave away, we also gave away for the 5 runner-ups. Everybody came down to 4 runner-ups.
Yeah. We did 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and 1 week.
Yeah, so we did 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and 1 week. And then, of course, the grand prize winner, which just the painting, ought to get a month, too. So
you
got a month, right? You have a month worth of, art lessons from us free. And or, if you didn't want that, you have 5 downloadable videos.
Holy
You
moly!
can pick either one, okay?
Either one.
Either one, whatever you want, all right? All right, so that's that. I think this is fun. Don't you guys think this was fun? Yes, we need a little bit more white over here. I'm just looking at my I want to look now at my final picture, kind of hold them up. I like to do that, put them side by side and kind of look at them.
Yeah, I like it when you do that.
I like to just see where I want to put a little highlight here when I have them next to each other. Maybe a little more white up on here, like this. A little bit more white, just up on here on our ice cream.
Hey, it looks like you have a bowl and I have a bowl.
Yeah, look at that. We each have a bowl of ice cream. Isn't that nice? Except, yeah, we do that. And then let's see, what else? Maybe a little bit of white up here, a little bit white right there. Sometimes white, you almost have to do 2 coats. Have you ever noticed that? It kind of shows up and then it doesn't. So it doesn't hurt to go back over and add a few little touches now and then.
Oh, as far as the auction winners, yes, if you won the auction, you have been notified.
Yes, if you won the auction, we've notified you. We've notified everybody. And
all the winning bids are still up on the website. I don't know if you can get to them. You have to figure out how to get to them, though, but they're there.
Okay. So, yeah, if you won the auction, we sent you an email.
Yep.
And I think we heard back from everybody but 3 people.
Yep.
Have we? Do you know the names of the 3 people? Should we mention those names?
No, I don't think we need to.
Okay. In case they need to, I think
we'll
in case they thought it went in their spam folder, was the only reason. The only reason I would think to
I will
mention
contact them directly from our email instead of.
Okay.
Because they may not watch here.
All right. So there we go. So there's our highlights on our ice cream.
Yes, Cindy Lou, this is calorie-free ice cream. Absolutely. Fat-free,
calorie-free ice cream. Yeah, that's right. This is ice cream from heaven. There's no calories on that stuff at all.
I like that cherry. I can't believe Sammy ate the cherry.
Frozen, really frozen, huh?
Yeah. I think that ice cream's really taking its toll.
I think so too, right?
I think it's still buffering. Bad
Okay.
stream. Well, it's an hour 42. I guess we've gone over our limit.
All right. So I would say I would sign this, if we're just done, if it comes back on. I think this came out really well, don't you think so?
I would tell them on the chat that
that I think that we're going to sign this and call it a day. It might show up in the, you guys, if you haven't subscribed, if you're still watching, if you haven't subscribed, please put these in your, if you would be so kind as to put our videos in your playlists, and, that really helps people see them, okay? That makes such a difference to who gets to see the videos then, if you do that, all right? I got to tell you, that makes a huge difference. Okay.
Why did you take out more red paint when you did the red paint? What were you doing with that?
Oh, I just added a little bit of red up in here.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's when you froze.
Okay. Are we back?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're just going to sign it. And this is why I like that fluid paint. Is because it does sign pretty well. Where'd it go? Here. All right. Here's our fluid paint. And I'm just going to...
I know there's no time limit.
Here we go, like this.
Humor.
All right. So I think that's kind of fun, right? Now I'll do 2 letters and I'll get a little more paint. Okay.
It's a good thing you don't have a long last name.
It is, isn't it? Well, I'd probably grab one of those pens then, but Cook's pretty easy. There we go. There we go. Cook probably thinks there's a cook that did this, some sort of kitchen cook or something. All right. So now, but I like this one. I really do. I think I like this picture. I think it's really fun. I liked our little, here's our little red streak through the name like that. And I've got a little bit of this red up in here like that, just a dab or 2 of the red up in here, a little shadow. Wow, that looks good enough to eat, doesn't it?
It does. It looks delicious.
All right, so that's our painting, you guys. How fun is this? Really fun. And remember, this week, John's getting the lesson edited. So if you remember GingerCookLive.gallery, this was really last week's painting, but we're going to get it up for you. This is our colorful barn in the
No,
sunrise,
it's
right?
Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge Mountain Sunrise
Yeah, Blue Ridge Mountain Sunrise.
is the name of this, and it's very much on the style of Thomas Kincaid because I really quite admired him, and
And she is warming up to the barn and tractor. Just
and
getting
warming up
warmed
to the barn and tractor. And again, I'll show you. This was our original photograph that we took this from, right? And theirs had sprinkles on top, and I didn't do any sprinkles.
I just didn't think it added to it. It was confusing.
John didn't think it added anything. The original had some sprinkles, but we didn't do any sprinkles. But that's okay. You don't have to have a lot of sprinkles. You could just have some, stuff. And then I see this, and then think I want to come over here like this and add a little ice cream over here.
What level would you call this one? How many cookies?
Oh, I think this is because you can trace it on. I'd say this is like a 2-cookie lesson. This isn't really particularly hard to do. It's just,
No.
you saw this is fiddly, but it isn't difficult.
A fiddly? What was
It's
the
fiddly.
word? It's fiddly.
It's fiddly. There's a lot of little
It's
fiddly
fiddly.
things, right? Little
Oh,
fiddly things.
what level is the barn one?
Oh, the barn? Oh, that's probably a
The
3-cookie lesson.
I think that's a 3.
That's a 3.
Yeah, the barn's a 3.
3-cookie lesson. It's a little bit more
Yeah.
challenging. But I think this is very, very doable because you can trace it on if you want. And then I said I would show you how you drew on a vase. Remember I did say that? So we have a second. I can show you real quick how
Oh,
you
here
draw
we
this
go.
on.
Well, yeah, we have a second. I mean, we're back live again.
Yeah, okay. So let me just show you how you draw this on because I think that, someone's going to say, yeah, I'd like this. And you can print out the painting from Pinterest, the picture, right? So whenever you're doing something like a vase or something like this, let me see, I've got a little raggy thing here. And I'll rinse this off. Okay, so think about, I would say, here's a rectangle, right? Find the center of it, okay? And then whatever you do on one side, if you're going to curve it off like this, then make the same, figure out where you're starting, and chop the same amount off on the other side. Does that make sense?
You're going to make a mirror image.
So you make an ear image. So whatever this corner is, this corner should be, okay? So it's pretty much easy. And, and then we just said, right, and then this is a kind of an oval, and then this was sort of a wavy line here, so that's not much, right? So then this had like a little bit of a kind of a stem here like this, and then at the bottom here, I mean, here's your table, okay? So it's coming out. If you just you could come straight down from 2 points like this that are the same, right?
Yep.
So then you could say that this is coming down on both sides, wherever you decide to end your vase, right, or your ice cream dish, right? And then you want to curve around the bottom like this, just curve it a little bit. Just get this to be a little curvy, okay? So if you wanted it wider, that's okay. Then just draw a line here and here
Just
and bring
make
it
it
out
even.
and bring it out. But whatever you do on one side, just do it on the other. And if you just, it's really easy. It's almost, and you'll see in this, it's almost a V. Do you see that? There's a slight curve to this. Now, I kind of exaggerated the vase a little bit, but that's really simple.
You wanted more ice cream in yours.
Yeah, I did. You know what I mean? And then it came a little bit like that. So then you had the ice cream, and you had your different ice creams. But that's how you draw.
It's real simple to draw.
A vase. I mean, it's a very, very simple. The vase. I mean, you can trace it onto if you wanted to, and you certainly could do that, and it wouldn't be wrong. But I mean, if you wanted to do that, there it is. I think the trick of how to do the glass and a little bit of glazing. Again, this was the golden gloss glazing liquid that I used to make this. These kind of interesting colors. And, again, glazing is something you can do again and again.
Again.
And, I mean, I'm going to show them one more thing. Right?
I knew it. Good thing it's only one more second.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to show
And
one
you're
more
going to close
thing.
that top
right?
again, right?
So, the top thing. You're doing your top things. It's just...
I want to use that stuff. We
Yeah.
got it for me.
Oh, yeah, I did. I forgot. All right, so I'm going to rinse my brush, right? Don't have any white on it. Now, someone said, what's the difference between tinting and glazing? The difference is you don't want to have... You tint white, but there's no white when you're glazing. Glazing is just a glazing medium or water and some color. So I want a little magenta, okay? I'm just saying, I want a little magenta, and I just thought it would be fun to do this. I'm going to just come up here with a little tiny bit of magenta. I don't need much. Take a little tiny bit here and mix it into this, like that. You can, any ratio on this glaze.
Wait. Let me bring it way down because I have your picture.
Any glazing medium, it's just very thin, right? Now, if I wanted to, I could come on my table like this, and just give it a bit of a
Purple haze.
purple, just almost a magenta haze here. Just see, look what that did.
All right.
See how I
magenta
warmed that
haze.
up?
That's not a song though. Purple haze was a song.
Okay, and I probably wouldn't go over much of this, but I don't want to go over the white here, but I could do this. I could even glaze over my name like that, so it's not so white, like that.
And then if you want it darker than that, you dry. It has to dry between layers.
Well, I haven't really dried that, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to touch it too much.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
now you can see what that did, right?
Yeah.
You see how that sort of changed the tint of it a little bit. Maybe I could come up here like this, even on this side, and give it a hint. Or let's come up here on the spoon. Now, we did all that. Now, what would happen if I put that over the spoon? See? So, did that help? Did that add anything, or did I lose my highlight? You'd have to ask yourself. If you don't like it, if you've dried it, you can just wipe it off. It's all right.
Erase it.
You can erase it, right? You can absolutely erase it. So, and can you paint right over on top of it? Because after you paint it, you saw it. You certainly can. You can paint right on top of that. You can, there's no. If you want to exaggerate the cherry stem, you could come right on top of the cherry like this, very gently, and just add a highlight on that, right like that. There's your cherry.
And again, you're doing everything with that one little brush.
Everything is just this one little brush. I mean, I love this brush. I mean, you could just do. You could absolutely.
Paint
do
an entire
everything.
painting with it.
Yeah, entire painting with this little brush. I want to come in here and
But
do a
they don't
little
make
dark.
any. Nobody makes one bigger than that 1/2 inch, right?
Well, they make a bigger one, and I have a bigger one. I think I do. I have an inch one, but I find that's a little awkward for me.
Even on a big painting. I mean,
Well,
if
I
you went
don't
to a
know.
big
I'd still like this for detail. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really done any big paintings where I guess I have used the bigger one, but these are my 3 favorite of all of them I've tried. Okay, absolutely my 3 favorites of everything I've tried. And you can't just, I'm just personally, I just really like that. And let's see, what else do I have? One more little thing I can show them. Okay, you guys, just.
Now we know when Ginger says it's a second, it's now 11 minutes. That's what 1 second equals.
Well, you know what, John?
I'm just saying what a second
Sometimes
is.
you need
It's like
to-
when you say 2 fingers. We have to, what's your ratios? We just have to understand your measurement.
Well, maybe you so. Well, I don't have it.
What are you looking for?
My round tape, my tape that's
Oh, that goes a circle?
that does my stuff that does circles.
I think it's over an A.
Well,
You could do it with that. I was doing that.
yeah. So look, I'm going to take this here like this, and I want to just curve it just here. I just want a better line here. Does that make sense? It wasn't strong enough like that, so I'm just going to start like this. Take it and turn it like this. It's a little bit curved like that. Then I'm going to come over here with the dark paint like that. See, better line on the spoon, except that the tape wasn't.
It wasn't completely sealed, but
I really didn't get that squished down enough, but I can erase that part right there.
didn't
there.
get that squished down. That's technical talk, people.
Yeah, it's called burnishing, but squishing is really what you're doing. All right, so but I wanted a stronger line on that. I wanted a stronger line on that tape, and I didn't have it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I did, on that spoon. So I just a tighter line than I was getting.
That looks good.
So that tape, the tape just cleaned that spoon right up, didn't it? So those are some things you can do. But I love this with the Who Ate the Cherry. I think that's the title, you guys. Who Ate the Cherry?
Who ate the cherry?
Who Ate the Cherry? And you always see me doing one more thing. And I'm going. I need something light here. Where's my white?
Yes, both canvases were the same size, 8x10s.
8x10, right? And then just need a little bit of light ice cream right in here like that. There we go. Thank you. There. A little bit of. I needed a little bit more of that lighter color right in here, like that, and a little bit wider. Okay. Happy. It's all good. We're all happy now. I think we're all happy. Where's the other one? Yeah, we're all happy. It just.
Why do you keep putting your paintbrush in the paint if we're all
I
happy?
don't know. We're just because I look around and I see one more thing, and I see one more thing, and I see one more thing, and this is, people always say, well, how do you know when you're done? And I'm looking at this other one
Ginger is
going, I
never
needed
done.
a little bit more dark right here, right on this edge.
And
There.
why did you need that?
Well, because it was in the other picture and I liked it.
Can this be done on 16 by 20? Of course
I
it can.
would think this would be really pretty big, like 48 by 60. I mean, big, and really do the detail, or at least 30 by 40. I think this would be stunning. Don't you think this would be stunning? 38 by 40, and just need a few little more dark things in here.
Well, 8 by 10 goes really easy to 16 by 20.
Yeah, 8
So.
by 10, 16 by 20. Yeah, would be very pretty. 30
32
by
by 40. Yeah.
All right, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm quitting. I'll put this all away. I'll just sit on my hands. I'll be good. I'll stop. All right, this was fun, right? All right, we want to thank everybody for watching, and you guys that were donating, thank you very much. Thanks for our moderators. We'll see you tomorrow night. We're going to learn some stuff. What I want to try to do tomorrow night, if possible, maybe just paint something, but my goal is tomorrow night, hopefully, what I can do is show you, I'm going to go through a whole bunch of photographs, and I'm going to help you find the vanishing points and the horizon lines so you don't have to make the stuff up. We're going to just take the mystery out of that.
Ooh.
Good to know, right? Let's take the mystery out of that.
Oh, the fans like that one, I'm telling you.
Okay. This was fun, you guys. Hope you had fun. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. We will see you tomorrow evening, 7:30 Central Time, right here on YouTube. Ginger Cook Live. Good night, Ginger.
Night, John. Night, Sammy. And congratulations to our winners. Congratulations,
All our
you guys.
winners.
You guys. And listen, if you're painting and having fun, everybody's a winner here.
Absolutely. Good night, everyone.
Night.